good, welcome back to Webley Hour, and today we are on day 3 of our Lucky Market Fresh build. And so far we have been working on the little shop, the village shop, and it says sweets. Fortunately we haven't had to really make any sweets, it's all about cakes and melon, and I guess maybe it's sweet tasting. And this is as far as we got. Those, I see that the little pots towards the back there, like back here, could have been a bit straighter, but in the scheme of things I think it's looking pretty good. Like the little glass by the side of the grapes here, all into their grapes, and I like the fact that you can just see that plant on the inside here. That's kind of nice. And the fireplace also looks really good where it is, and it is all against this wall, nice and flat. So without further ado, let's get moving, and I'll go and grab the pieces for today. Today we've got some exciting stuff coming up. We're working with the tin, and we're going to be getting this in place. So let's get on and do that. Alright, like I said, we're going to be starting with the tin. So we're going to need our lights, we're going to need all our electrics, and we're going to need quite a few of the wood elements. So let me get this out of the way for the moment. I had a piece break on me when I was getting it out, and it should be well and truly, I mean it didn't break all the way through, but it chipped like the top just for getting it out of the form. Basically it comes in. So this goes with this. We have these little ones, and these are going to be the supports, and we also have this for the floor, which I didn't even bring in, and we have our tin, which is still in the plastic. So let me get that out. I never got that far in my little head. And you can see that our box theatre. Welcome to Neil and Ava's Dream Theatre. Okay. That's kind of cute. There you go, we got a name for them. Our teddies have a name. How cool is that? I never noticed that before. I can never open these. There we go. Now I can open it. So, is this the first part? It is not. So after me getting that out, we're not starting there. We're going to be starting with putting our electrics in here. I haven't put, it doesn't come with the batteries. They are LR44s, which is quite common. And it does say to put them in, so I guess we will get this, it doesn't say to test the wiring yet, but we're going to put this in, and it's going to be held together by 2 of these wooden pieces here. So I'm going to get that in there, make sure it's the right way, like so, and then that's going to be glued in with these pieces, which goes with the thicker parts there, and this towards the back, like so, across it. So let me get the glue for that. I'm just going to use B7000 for this, and a strip all the way along, because you want enough of the wooden. You know, it's funny because I've had a new tube of this sitting there for ages, and it just seems to keep going, which is good. I mean, that's what you want. You don't want to be constantly replacing your glues. Although I do seem to be going through a fair chunk. Alright, make sure your wires aren't caught up in this. And you just want, so it says on and off, I'm guessing what that is. But get that in there. I'm not going to be able to do it flat. Don't get glue on that switch. Like I'm trying to do. Make sure it's in the right spot so that you can access it to turn it, and then, like I say, put one on here on this side. It's actually going to be difficult to do because you want the height. Can't even pick it up. I knew we should have had my breakfast, huh? That's what I get for not eating first. And the colours do come out of here, so you're going to end up with pink all over the show. So the thicker part going down like so. Holding this in spots. You go careful with these wires, because although this is a different type of casing, I could see it still being a problem. So I'm going to get these on. Sticking to me now. and then check what we've got going on in here. Doesn't look too straight at all. Let me handle that. Okay, so it looks something like that. It's nowhere near dry, but that's kind of how it's going to look. So you've got your base like this, and this on the back like so. Then we are going to grab this little piece and use our third one of these wooden pieces. And we're going to grab that, and that is just going to sit somewhere like so. So let me get some glue down for that. So just a few millimeters away from the opening here. This opening is where the front form is going to go, which is going to house your battery, which won't be stuck in. So let's get this on, and we'll let these all dry while we do some paper elements. So something like that. All it's for is a bit of stability once it goes in the tin. Okay, that can go to one side along with the switch for it to dry. Okay, and then we will get some paper elements done. So we're going to get this and this, and this with this. That's for in a little bit. So let me get, now you've got three sides of this which have been cut here. You've just got three rounded ends, and then you've got one flat end. So just make sure you have it the right way around. So this is my square corner, flat end. And the others, this one's going to have the wires going through it. I think that's how it works. So I'm going to get some beacon for that, for both of these. And some on here. Go on, beacon, keep on giving. I might have to buy more beacon actually. That I don't know if how much I've got of. I can't remember. I know I got loads of tacky though. Worst comes to worst, I do have my tacky. Worst comes to worst, tacky's very good. So again, just checking your corners. You do have it the right way round. Just line this up. Now I already cut this one, but I could have done it my normal method, which is my preferred one really. But I was feeling all cocky with me scissors there. And that goes on here. And then our lucky market will go on this one. And this one will dry. Now next it will get you to put this onto this piece here, but I'm almost nervous about doing that because that fits into, if I get this piece which is wet, into here, and the other one will fit on that other piece we did with the wiring. And my problem with doing that was I did it on one of them, I think it was the cherry blossom actually. I was talking about that to one of the people who look at the channel, and I think I put this on first and then it didn't quite line up, so I'm going to wait on this until it's all together. So that will be one of the last things, but we will be moving on to the tin. So before we put anything on the tin, we are going to put these electrics on. So I'm going to wait for them to dry a little bit longer, and then put these in and put before I put the back colours on. So let's give these a moment to dry. Well, I don't think I recorded, so what I've done is I've put these two in, made sure that those are right and glued. I may have recorded this already, I can't recall. Make sure your wires are out the way. Then I have test fitted this piece, which will go in here, and then glued it, ready to go. So that's kind of there. Now what we're going to do is run the wires underneath, and we just basically want this piece with the tape to be in that corner. So again, we want to get these wires out the way of any glue so we don't stand a chance of it doing it. But to be honest with you, if you have it further in right now, it will be fine. But we'll pull it back out afterwards. They don't want to come with me anyway, do they? Right, let me get some tape and I'll put them in position of how I want them. Basically, I just want them out of the way, really. Next we are going to put in, well, we can do the wiring now actually. Shall we do that? Let's do the wiring and then we know that they're done. Let me go and get some nuts, because that's the easiest way that I find that I can do it. Just checking all this to make sure we're in a good spot. Probably would have been a better spot if I didn't mess with it. Because it's going to have a board on the top of it. Okay, let me go and get those wiring nuts. Okay, so they provide you with some tape which you can put around your wires. So basically you're going to want the white wire touching the white wire of here, and the grey wire with the grey wire, so not too bad. Quite often you'll get ones where you... Oh, goodness. Maybe I should put this on the stand. Hold on. Right, maybe it won't fall over so much now. So these wires are tight. I in some ways wish that I'd done them beforehand. So there's our white wire back there. I don't even see the grey wires on the outside. So the white wire is really tight for here. Okay, so if you are taping them together, then this is the time you'll do it, but I'm going to use wire nuts. And all you do with wire nuts is you put them in your wires and you twist and twist and twist, and it gets them nicely together. So let me show you on the grey wire, because that's easier to access, and then I'll worry about the white wire afterwards, because the white wire is really hidden. And this grey wire, so just line them up. And if you're doing the tape, you will twist them together, you put your tape on, and hopefully they stay. As you can see, I have a lot of trouble, it seems, to keep the wires together when I'm twisting them, so I'm probably just not that good with that sort of thing. So I find it easier to do the wire nuts, and generally they will stay on, and there is enough room behind the model to be able to poke them behind without it being a big deal. So let's get that like that, and then I'll get on and do the hard one, which is going to be the white one, because it's, and just pull on these, make sure that they're done. Gently pull, don't go crazy. Alright, let me get the white one done and then we'll test them. Alright, both those are on. There's our white one, and sorry, the white one and the grey one. It would have been easier to have done before putting it in. So they do get you to test this before you put this all together, by the way. No, that's not right. So before you make the shop, they get you to test this. So this is normally the first thing you're meant to do. So if it doesn't work, but what would I have done if it hadn't worked? I mean, I bought this quite a while ago. It wasn't like it was a new build. I'm not going to be able to send it back. I believe it did came with the batteries too, by the way. I think I just used them for something else. But now I got a whole bunch of them. So I'm going to test this. Wait. Okay. Alright, so got my tape that I had to hand that I don't need anymore. It's a long screw. So we will test this now and see which way round this goes. Okay, so these just go in like so. It's such a tight fit. Wish I gave you a bit more wires. I mean, some of them, like that last build I did, not the last one, but the last one which included electrics, I had loads of wire. These are just always so very tight. But there still will be plenty of room to put these in behind, so. Alright, let's see what we have. These are new batteries, so it should work fine. Well, let's just test it without putting that on, and then I'll put that on afterwards. So, let's see. What do we have? Let's hope. Nothing. Good times. Huh. Well, and that is the problem. Alright, let me just make sure I got the batteries around the right way and that this doesn't have to be in. So let me test a few things and see if we can get this going. Okay, so I have got them working. Well, you can't see very much, but they are working. So even though I got brand new batteries, because like I said, I think I'd use the others for something or other. I don't know if there was a problem with those. I also remade sure that these wires, especially that white one, was really, really tight, and now we do have success. So it's had new batteries put in, plus a got hiccups, a recheck on these wire nuts. All right, let's move on. Next we are going to put this plate on top. I really do have hiccups, so I will be back when I've got rid of my hiccups. Alright, so the next thing isn't about doing the piece of wood, it's actually about putting the backing on. So let's get that sorted. I'm going to take this off of here and get that out the way. I do dislike this lighting really, so let's put it on the side and then you should be able to see. I would have been so disappointed if it hadn't worked, but you know what, I've had it a while, so it would have been my own fault for not dealing with it sooner. Alright, so let's glue this. Maybe I should get that sticky tape that I had and put that over here just to keep you out the way a minute. It's not going to do much, but it might keep it out of the way for a second. Alright, oh, well, I got some glue, that's for sure. So I think I'm going to do the top one at the same time. It doesn't say to, by the way, just so you are aware. And then we'll deal with the lights next. So I'm going to put some glue in here, lots of glue, especially around the edges. And then onto here, let's get rid of that strand. And we'll put the top one in at the same time. Sorry. Keep putting my arm on my phone, it keeps flashing at me. You know what? You know, because that's what you do, right? Lots of glue. It will soak in quite quick, so even though it's going into tin. Okay, the lights are actually wrapped around my tripod, I've just noticed, so yeah, the likelihood of my tripod getting caught up is probably will be interesting. Alright, so let's get you down. Which probably isn't going to be that easy with the lights there already. Okay, bear with me. Alright, sorry about that. Needed tweezers to get it out to re-put it back in. So once that's in, how very pretty that is too, I'm going to put this top one in and just get that out the way. So just make sure it's facing the right way. And it's down enough down the bottom. Won't matter too much if it's a little bit over on your edges. Although it's fitting quite well really. Okay, and then just, because I don't really have anything to press, you can do it with the credit card by the way, you don't have to do it with the spreaders that I have. And then this can go down a second and I can check this does fit in here, and it fits fine. So that's good. Alright, next are the lights. So normally I use Bondic for this. These do go in quite specific places, so let's get this Bondic ready and I'll show you where they need to go. So once I can get it out the casing here, so I use Bondic, you can use super glue. So the first one, so this goes into the corner, like I was saying, so that can be pushed down a bit. The first one's going to go on here, like so. So you want to make sure, do we do that first, or do we do the, nope, we do the plinth first. So let's get all this out the way. Just make sure that this all goes in okay. Make sure my wires are still working, yes. I will come back to Bondic any second. Right, so we will put this piece of wood. So what you want is you want the square part of here, this part here, the one with the square at the front on the left, like so. And you want the wires to be right in there. So let's get that done. So use a bit of wood glue for this. I'm just going to go along this edge. You want to make sure your wires are down enough. And then I'll go along the actual piece of wood as well, and I'll do that with not wood glue. Do that with the B7000, I think. So just pop that down a bit. Check my wires again because I'm not going to have access to them after this. And then get some B7000 on the wooden piece itself. So put the pin back again. Alright, so this piece, so we want B7000. And then get the lid off of it. Okay, so you want it on the ends here. Oh, it might be starting to go. Oh, no. No, it's still giving. Quite stringy there. Just need it to catch in places, you don't need to go crazy. And then put that in there like so, making sure that the wire is into the corner, which it has not gone in. There we go, like so, and that can go down more. Well, it's interesting because I think it needs to be up more actually, not down more. So you want it in something like so, press that down so that sticks. Then we will sort out the lights next, and the first light will go on here like so, which it might even go, I got a bit of B7000 on that. Okay, so you can clamp this if you want to, or you can just hold it for a second, which should work. This corner's down, this, you can't see a thing of that, this right corner's down, it's this side that isn't, and it will look like this. And just make sure that that's all the way down on this side. Let me give them that moment. I'm just going to hold it rather than clamping it. Okay, so I did end up clamping it because it didn't want to stay down, and it's fine. So let's get these lights sorted. So the first one is going to go on the side, so like so. It's kind of had some B7000 on it, but this one needs to go further into here. So I'm going to ease that off and give this a little pull, hopefully. And I will show you that once I've done it, because I need that right in front of my face because I don't want to pull the wires either. Alright, I think it's going to be easier to do with the lights actually on. Sorry about that noise, it's because I have a screen open that I don't normally have open. And this one I think will just, this first one will stay where it is. And the second one is going to go up here. So it's basically number 5 and 6 we really need to worry about. So let me get some... like I say, you can do other glues, you don't have to do this. This, you know, it does break. If you do it wrong, you can actually break the seal, which is what I like. And this just has a red UV glow, which will dry it in spots. The thing I like about it is it dries quite quick, which I do like. So it's, like I say, it's only 5 and 6 that you really need to worry about. They want this one towards the front, so like so. If I can get the stuff in to that area there. Got plenty in there. So then we will have 3 on. Number 4 is going to go wherever it lands, really, doesn't matter so much. But it kind of goes towards the back more. And I'm going to actually put 5. So on here, which you're probably not gonna, you might just see, is a number 5 here, where that's pointing, and there's number 6. So you want to make sure that 5 is and 6 are in the right spots, because those are going to come through that shop we just made. So let me get that done. Okay, and that's how they should look. So you've got this one, let me turn them off, it'd be easier, going downwards, and this one going across, which will match what we got going on in the house. So that is this part done. So I think what we will do next is put my... Only reason I had to do it off camera is because I literally need it in front of my face to do it in reality. Next, I think we're going to put this in, so let me just check. No, before we do that, we want to put this piece of wood in. See, I made that mistake almost last time, didn't I? And I had to do the paper or whatever it was, grass, I think, before last time. So it goes on this way, one would think, because it looks like it's the only way. Their shape looks different to mine. Maybe it's that way, actually. I think it's that way. Okay, that would make more sense. So let me get some wood glue on this. I also put a tiny bit more glue on there where I hadn't gone quite to the edge with the old beacon there. So just put some glue, wood glue on here. And then the house will sit on top of this. So it probably doesn't need, it's again not going to need a ton of it. Just need some. I have strings of glue going all over the show. Alright, and now we'll put this little thing in and hopefully the lights will shine up before it. So I'm going to get some wood glue on this because it's all pretty much wood. Put some on the back as well so that we keep it flat, and hopefully those holes here will line up. There is always the risk, isn't there? So probably don't need anywhere near the amount of wood glue that I'm putting on. Alright, so let's see what we can do. So if it pushes all the way back, it should catch it okay. Okay. And then we have it. So let's see if those lights work and come through the house. And they do just. Only just. It is not quite lined up, but not far from. It needs to be a little bit more to the right. There we go, now I can see that one back here through the hole. And this one, I think that one's through the hole too, because I did get it on the spots that they recommended. So push it back. Right, and we'll move on. Right, and now we are probably going to, let me just re-angle this camera. We are going to probably pretty much do it in a sequence of what they want. So let me get the pin in this wood glue because we won't be needing that straight away. Alright, so first things first, we have a lot of pieces in here, but we don't need them all. We need to do the stairs first. So let's get those pieces out ready, and also put on the window and door. So the window is blue. So some of this we may not be needing. I was just putting it in a pot out the way really. And the window is red. Where is my window? There it is. Okay, so I think we will start. Let's make sure we get it the right way around. The window here and the door here. So we will start now. I think the door fits inside from what I can gather. So wood glue it is. But the window will be on the outside. And get some going on here. So it should fit on the inside, I think. Again, probably don't need that amount. Put my little pin in. Okay, and let's see. Put that on there. And see if we can get this door in. It does fit in. Probably want it equal with the front here. Maybe I should have just put the door in first. Come off a minute. Okay. And now let's put that back on. Get rid of that glue. It should still be fine on having glue. And then, now we've done that, we will do the stairs. So that people got a way to go up here to that one table that's sitting up there. Very important table it is. So we're going to start with a big block, and that's going to go here. Okay, so get that glued. Don't need it on the end like I did. Although we'll need it on the other end, so I could have kept it like it. And the stairs, and then we'll marry up to this one on the edge. Let's turn that around. So let's see. So it goes something like so. Wants to stay with me. And then the platform, so it needs more of an angle like this. The platform will go in front of, on top of the stair here, and go across, and then I'll clean up that glue, although it will dry clear, but still. No tweezers for this. Nothing like moving everything. And then we'll give that a moment to dry. I'll get it cleaned up of glue and get that a moment to dry. So I think that looks alright. So this is what you will have. Okay, so let's give that a minute, and I will get this glue cleaned up. One of my little purple spongy things, and then we'll move on, and we'll be concentrating on this wall for a moment. Alright, that's had a moment. One thing I've forgotten, I had it all out ready because what I was going to do wasn't what I'm going to do now. I was going to cut this out on the model, but now I have left it too late, so a little bit of beacon around the edge here, and then we're going to turn it over. We have to put some netting on the windows and door on the inside. Not that you're going to see much of it, because this goes against a wall. It goes against the back of the tin, actually. So just put this around here. You will see this, I'm sure. I'm sure it can't be that covered. String. Okay, so it's a bit longer by the looks of it, so that may need a little bit of trimming. But we could do that in a second. And this is why my tweezers get all yucky. Should be using my purple thing, shouldn't I, to rub it off, but hey. Alright, so I'll turn this over. So the wood glue's not totally dry, but it's enough. So we have a tiny piece which, oh, it flew over here, just needs to go over the door. So let's get a bit of B7000 for this. And it just goes to the bottom of the door, and then we got the window one, which is slightly different. So you need to, so the window one is like 1.4 centimeters by 1 centimeters, and you kind of want it with the curve at the bottom, like so. So it kind of shows through a bit. Not really going to see it that much. And then this one is slightly different because you have to cut it in half like so. So let's put it on the window first, if I can. Probably won't let go of my tweezers now because I've been putting my tweezers in places I shouldn't, like in the glue. That sounded worse than it is. So the idea is you're only going to see it from this side. So the idea is that it's just pulled apart a little bit, I guess, so that you can, it looks like they're pulled back somewhat. So just tighten that up, and like I say, this part here is just not going to be seen. be nice if it was flat, but it's not a big deal. And then we're back to this side again. So now we have our nets on. It looks alright, doesn't it? Can't really see the curly bit that I put on, but hey. Alright, and I was so careful with how I positioned that. Next we are going to put the railing on and the roof panels. So let's do the roof panels I think first. So one goes on here, folding down a little bit, and the other one, that one here, goes on above the window. So I think that'd probably be easier to do that bit first. So again, I'm just going to use some B7000. I've kind of got it out now. And have it tilting a little bit if you can. Maybe not quite that much. And we don't want it flat against the door either. And then this one over here. So it goes something like so. Oh, drop my water. Okay. And then we are going to put the stairs on next. But before that, I'm going to get my pins ready for the canopy, which is going over this door here. So we have a little canopy to put in, but we need to put pins on to hold it together. So making sure that these are in the right spot this time, which I think they will roughly be. And then we'll put the stairs on, and then we just got the canopy to go. These are going to be, how long? 1.1 centimetres, so a bit bigger than the last ones. Gosh, I'm dropping everything. Got too much in my little tray that I have to hand for anything that I need, and you know, quite often on these ones it seems that I need a lot. So sorry about all that noise. But I do see my roof here is not on proper. I should have painted the inside of them a bit, don't we think? Would have been better, and that one's too much. Wink, go back. You just got to tell these models. Right, where was I? Okay, 1.5, not 1.5, just over a centimetre. So it's probably a bit smaller, but that's probably okay. And I kind of just want the glue to start to set a little bit before putting them in, because they were a bit of a pain to do last time. Roughly nowhere near. Good, good. That's what we like to hear. Okay, so that one's probably okay. This one we just need to take a tiny bit off the top. Tiny bit, she says. Okay. And then we will stick those where our glue is. Give that a moment to set. So I'm going to put it down here a bit. Yeah, putting that glue on that early worked. And put this one roughly the other side, about the same distance. Okay. Glue strand. Okay, this one does not want to stay quite so. Alright, now the stairs we are putting on like so, if I don't hit those. So that goes all the way down there. And then this little one goes into here, so I'll put the little one I think on first. So where'd be my wood glue? I've got everything all over the show. I don't like this. And I still need to cut that piece of paper from the bottom there too. Okay. And again, these are things probably not going to be seen too much. And then along the top here and here. Across there. Okay. Get that pin back in again. Done well so far, I haven't lost the pin. I mean, I've lost it about 8 times by the time I get to this stage of a model. I'm going to try and line it up with the top there. Play with that for a moment. Then we have a little bit of decorations to do after we put this balcony thingy on. Canopy, really, isn't it? I'll just get rid of that piece of paper. Okay, so you want to fold it on the mark, on the line. So this darker area is what's going to stick to the wall. As I move it totally, I have glue all over me again. And then you also want it curved at the bottom. And we do it first this time. Last time I left it until it was on the model, and we don't want to do that. And that kind of hides the metal pieces, wire basically. Alright, so let's get this on. Okay, stick with the B7000. Even though it's a paper element, this one's very wobbly. And then we have a few bits of decoration that we need to make, and this will be done and we can put it in the model. There's not much room for it, is there? So it'll be something like, oh, I moved the stairs, damn it. Clumsy. Will look something like that. Let's get those stairs realigned. Okay, so I think that looks pretty good actually. Got all that lined up. So next we have 3 more things to put on here. Well, kind of 4. We are going to put on like, I don't know what this is. Maybe it's signifying a tunnel. Anyway, this goes in. Probably should use wood glue, but it's going on into here. Like so. Equal with the bottom would be good. Come on, woman, line it up. So something like that. And then we have a picture that we're going to put on, which I'm going to do, and you kind of want that on this wall here. And then we're going to quickly make some carrots. They're red carrots, so they're going very modern. So this is our sign that we're going to use, which is advertising, funny enough, carrots. And we want that reasonably straight would be good. Okay, so let me put that out the way. 1 second, won't be for long. So what we want to do is, we've got one of these, we want to just chop off the ends. They look very weird shaped carrots. In the picture they don't look that shaped, by the way. and we want to put those on, but they say make them first, but I'm thinking I'm going to put them on first. Let me get this flat again. It'll be a bit easier. So they both sit next to each other. And I want to let go of the tweezers anyway. Okay, if you want to go there, you can go there. And then this one next to it. They don't look anything like carrots, do they, really? And it's just two. Let's try it with a hand then. And the tweezers really don't want to give them up. I don't think my hands do either. And they're all sort of sticky everywhere. Okay, so something like so. They don't look like bloody carrots at all. And then take some of the greenery here, just a little bit. So where do I put those scissors? And put those on top of the carrots. So I think this is going to be easier to drop on than making them first and get them to balance and all that sort of stuff. Because this way we can just stick it against the wall and it'll still look the same. So I think I'll just use that big one. And I'm guessing it's still got enough glue, but just in case, put a blob up there and put this on like so. Like that, and that's this all done. So that's what we have. So it's kind of cool, doesn't it? Right, let's put this in the house. Give it up, give it up. There we go. And that's those dealt with. Put that all to one side. And now we're going to need some wood glue. It's very crooked sitting on there, isn't it? So this goes in the tin at an angle. From what I can tell, I am saying what I can tell, is a bit difficult to tell. So let's get that ready. Let's get that tin in here. I guess we could put it up on here for where it's going. And it's going to kind of go in here. Wow, only just fits. How tight that is. Okay. So let's get some wood glue under it and on the roof area. I don't think it's going to be moving, to be honest with you, once it's in there, but we will do what it suggests. So I was putting some glue on the bottom, which is going to spread all over the show before we even get it in there, and squeeze it in as I get it over the wire. Okay, alright. And push it back so it's at an angle. So you want this part coming outwards to the front, and this push back like so. Eventually, you can't even see that roof hardly at all, can you? And then push it against the tin a bit better than what it is, which is a gap down here, by the way. You can see it quite clearly, and that is where it goes, like so. I'm assuming we'll be putting something down that gap. I would think that we're putting some flowers or something, because they like their flowers. Right, and that is where we are for today. So we've made, let me move the camera so you can see, knock over my water again. All right. And that, my friends, is day 3. So I mean, we have made some significant progress. I mean, it's it doesn't look like it still looks kind of crooked. I don't know. It's not. It won't go any more than what it is. But you can see that there is quite some significant progress here. And maybe I can push that on the top a bit better. Like so, but if I do that, then it pushes it away from this wall because it falls into the corner of the tin. so I probably don't want to do it too much. Anyway, we have made some significant progress here. We've managed to get the big shop that we did. Could do with colouring that, couldn't we, or something? Maybe like an orange. Maybe I'll think about doing that. And then we have our new wall going in. So what we have left to do is we have some fruit and vegetables. We have some flowers to do, and basically I would say it's finishing off pieces, but it's going to be quite a lot of small stuff. And I think our carrots look all right, even though they don't really look like carrots, but it is using what they suggested to use. And I think that will be fine. So I hope you're enjoying this build. It is, they are all, to be honest with you, doing these tins are always very pleasant. And just to put the lights on this matter. So then you've got your lights, which all look very good too. That one shines really through up there, and we have a little shine on the shops and things like that, so it's very pretty. But yes, so I do hope you're enjoying this build and you're going to be building it along. Yeah, I love these little tins. I think they really do look so cute, and they look so much more complicated than they even are, and you know, it's not like they're not complicated, because they kind of are. Let's get rid of that bit of glue because that will dry as a lump, I'm sure. But they look very pretty. Alright, so like I say, day 4 we're going to be doing some fruit and veg. I'm going to be doing some finishing off pieces, some trees, some plants, and I'm hoping that day 4 will be the last day. But how cute is that? Alright, I will see you tomorrow. Do please like and subscribe. And if you'd like, leave any comments, I will get back to you. Or you can email me when the email is at the end of the video. Most of all, take care of yourselves, and you guys have a great day.